So I'm Michael O. I'm president and founder of TSB Smart Spaces. I'm here with Katharine Mast of Charles Street Design, the director of interiors. And we're going to have a conversation today really talking about technology, talking about design, the intersection of these things. And we both work in the luxury residential space, which I think is a really fascinating area. So let's get started. So Karen, I know we've had an opportunity to start to collaborate on a great project together. And to a certain degree, me as the sort of president of the company, I sort of see these projects come in and see these collaborations, and you and I have known each other and run into each other in a lot of different events and things. But maybe if you could sort of tell me, because I don't actually know, like sort of a little bit of how the project started and kind of why you decided to reach out when you did to us with this project.
Well, it hasn't always been the case that clients of ours who come to us for a renovation necessarily start or are even that aware or interested in home technologies.
Right.
But with this particular client, which was delightful and exciting for me, she really started our early conversations around the home technology she wanted to integrate and incorporate in her new home in Boston. And specifically, she said, "I love everything high tech. I want it all. I'm worried about the price tag a little bit." And we said, "Don't worry. We have a wonderful partner. They're going to be able to walk us through the process. We'll spend a good amount of time with you, really diving into what exactly it is that you want,
Right.
and the functionality of all those features. And if we need to prioritize or make different choices, they'll be our guides and they'll help us in that process." So, she and then TSP, you guys were really wonderful in giving us the opportunity to come into your space and letting her have a full in-house showroom experience as far as being able to look and feel and touch and hear all the different technologies she was interested in. And that she was already excited, but that really brought her over the top.
Right.
In terms of, her desire to align those systems and incorporate them into our overall design plan.
That's great. That's great. I mean, it's really fascinating. I think the concept of the showroom, and I mean, I say showroom, and as you know, we call this the experience lab, because we know it's a little bit more than just sort of showing product, right? I mean, we want people to have that exact thing that you're talking about, to sort of come in and see how it all works together, to also get some inspiration, get some ideas. And as an industry, though, like I think the AV integrators, for lack of a better kind of term of us as a whole, have been moving away from sort of they're expensive spaces. I mean, just like any retail experience type of thing, expensive to build. And for us, it was like this hybrid between a really working office. I mean, you'll see we've got conference rooms and all of that AV technology, which is also part of what we do. But you wouldn't go through the effort of building out great sort of textures and sort of making it more of that experience if it weren't more for a client experience. So, I mean, how did you feel like that changed things for your client, especially relative maybe to other experiences you've had with other integrators and how that process works?
Well, the ability for her to come in and not only have very knowledgeable and experienced people walk her through the different systems and technologies that she was interested in, so that she really understood the differences from one system to another, for example. But being able to see the operation of the Lutron automated shades, for example.
Right.
And one element for her that is maybe of the most importance is the lighting that she's going to be using throughout her apartment. And specifically, we were introduced to Ketra.
Yeah.
And I just thought it's extraordinary technology. I mean, it's the coolest thing to think that both light temperature and the quality and intensity of light can follow human circadian rhythms throughout the day.
Right. Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah.
So for me, this whole concept of, okay, now we're going beyond mere luxury, convenience, lovely features, all of which are part of our current home technologies, into this health and wellness sphere.
Right, right.
And where, these technologies can, not only do what they've always been doing in terms of providing comfort and security, as I said, but now it can really help the human body.
Right, yeah. And that is, it's amazing to a certain degree for me, being in the industry. Well, it's amazing, but also very logical that something like Ketra hasn't existed for a long time. Like when I hear, the founder of Ketra did this great video recently, and he said, it's very strange in a way that people have a light in their homes that is the same color temperature all the time. It is essentially static light, right?
Yeah.
When everything that we experience, everything from the flames in a fire to the sunrise and the sunset, and then just the sun going through the day, is dynamic. It's
Yes.
constantly changing. So, to a certain degree, it's sort of like, well, that's just what the technology, what the incandescent light bulb could do, turn it up, turn it down, and nobody really ever thought like it should do anything different. But then as the new technology evolved, which is LED, and we're constantly having this conversation with clients, it's like, should I replace halogen with LED? Well, yes, from an energy standpoint, but also from the standpoint of what it's capable of doing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, halogen is a single color temperature, or at least at a given intensity. Yes, it gets this nice, lovely, warm color as you dim it, but LED allows you to do essentially anything. But I think that concept of people sort of saying light is now part of the palette is almost like not really, it's not really part of that design narrative in a way, a design lingo. Like, I don't think clients even have thought about that as being something
Right.
that affects it.
No, exactly. I mean, I think to date, more of the conversation is usually around warm versus cool.
Right.
And that's sort of where the conversation ends.
Right, yeah.
And of course, I love designing with light.
Right, yeah.
And happily, in the design space, that's become much more of a thing, if you
Right,
will.
yeah.
And we love incredible fixtures that feel and look like sculpture, for example, but also create an atmosphere and an ambiance. And to me, so Ketra is, it's now incorporating and blending in the science
Right, yeah.
with the beauty.
Right.
And also, of course, again, the sort of the health benefits
Yeah.
as well. So that was one piece that got me really excited. And, in terms of how it's compared with my previous experience with AV providers, I feel like, you have such a wonderful foundational way of working with designers and architects and homeowners.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, you are such collaborative partners makes such a difference in the
Right.
process. And, this particular client has actually had some concerns. She has a family member who's very, very sensitive to light, and specifically flickering lamping
Right.
in the different light in the wherever he is in any
Right.
environment.
Right.
And so, being that she knows he's going to visit a lot
Right.
with her daughter, she has been very concerned to make sure that we address that as part of our whole package. And the TSP team has been just tremendous in terms of really diving into the technology and talking to experts that you all are partnered with, and therefore being able to offer us solutions, which has been huge for her. So
Right, right.
it's made the experience for her really wonderful. And of course, she now is so trusting of the process,
Right.
and that makes, of course, all the difference.